body moving, nobody goes tender. Reach for the sky with your face in the dirt. Everybody is a star. Got my money, I'm feeling kinda low. Everybody got a star.
Hello, everybody. How are you? How's everybody doing at home? Well, I am here, and welcome to Rally with Champions, our 4th live virtual workshop. So again, my name is Shannon Barkey, and I'm going to be your host today. If you don't know that I am not a summer athlete, that's okay. I was a winter athlete. I'm a 3-time Olympian, 2-time Olympic medalist in the sport of mogul skiing, and probably nobody's ever heard of mogul skiing, and that's okay. So we have such an incredible workshop for you today. I can't wait to have some fun with our 2 athletes. They're just amazing. We've been chatting a little bit, getting to know them. So Paige McPherson, oh my gosh, she's a Taekwondo athlete. How awesome is that? And Eliza Stone. She's a fencer, like she's got a saber. It's just awesome. So we're going to have so much fun today. And our topic is going to be mental toughness, which is, if any of you know me at home, you know that this is like what I live and breathe on. So I'm really excited to have this conversation with these ladies today, and really, you know, what they've learned and what we can learn from them. So I'm really, really excited. But I want to tell you a little bit about our initiative and our why behind Rally with the Champions. This is to help raise money for these Olympians as their quest for gold has been pushed back another year. And I just I can't even fathom that. They are going to need more mental toughness than I even know how to muster up. So, but I think just as importantly is being able to give that inspiration and share with you all at home. So this is our 4th of 10 workshops that we're doing. And we've got all kinds of different topics, different Olympians and Paralympians. We've got 20 athletes that are going to be here. So I also want to give a huge shout out to Convoy Events and Team Empower Hour for putting this all together, making this amazing video that opened up the workshop, and just putting all their heart and soul into it. So thank you guys. So I wanted to let these amazing athletes introduce themselves and kind of tell us a little bit about them. So Paige, would you like to go first?
Hello, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in. It's such an amazing opportunity to kind of share our story. And we definitely have the time to do it now, right?
Yes.
I'm originally from Sturgis, South Dakota, very small town. Growing up, I was a younger sister of Evan, who decided to do a part Taekwondo, and I was his shadow. I kid you not, I wanted to do everything that he did, and so when he started, I had to start. And the thing that I love about Taekwondo is it taught you self-discipline, perseverance, indomitable spirit. It became part of a family. And I just remember one day my instructor just was like, well, why not? Let's just try to go to nationals. You know, we had no clue what national requirements were. We weren't really a competitive school. And so I kid you not, we just decided to go for it, have some fun. We went to nationals. And then I got a bronze medal in my very first junior national. And ever since that, you know, I've just been taking, you know, those small steps to where I had the possible chance to go to the Olympics. And 2012 was my very first Olympics. London was an amazing city. I had such a great time that I decided to go again in Rio. And here I am. God is good that I'm going for my 3rd Olympics.
Yes, girl.
Yes.
I love it. Congratulations. Yes. Yeah. Okay. You're going for 4 or 5 because you know, once you go like 3 times, you've got to keep going. I did not, but you need to. Okay. All right, Eliza, let's hear a little bit more about you.
Well, hello, everybody. I am from Chicago. I started fencing because my family were all homeschooled, so we didn't have a club sport or a team sport we could do, and we were trying to figure it out. What can you do on your own? And I think my mom found a flyer in a pizza parlor for a fencing club. What is that?
That
That's
is
cool.
awesome.
We just watched Star Wars and whatever else, and we were very much into the idea. So we just went for a Friday night kids class, and we loved it. Me, my brother, and my little sister, and the three of us just took to it. We were lucky enough to start with a coach who had just retired basically from being on the Bulgarian Olympic team. So we got very lucky with what club we chose. And things just clicked. Didn't really do a lot of international fencing until after college, which is rare for fencers. Normally you start when you're like 14, 15 to go to
Yeah.
international cadets. But for me, it just wasn't really on the radar until, after college. And then I realized I didn't want to quit fencing now that I was going to be done with NCAA fencing. So I was like, oh, what do I do now? And then I finally went to my first Senior World Cup, and it was a bit crazy and a bit intense. And I realized, what the proper level of fencing is, and it just pushed you to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's so exciting. I remember my first time. So I was coming up as, mogul skier, and I was one of the best in the country. And then my very first World Cup, I got second to last. And I was like,
Yeah.
Humbling experience.
okay, game on. Like, we got to get a little bit better at this.
I have
So-
yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so because I don't do what you do, and I just would love if you guys want to share some of the equipment in what your sport entails. And I mean, I know that you guys have sabers, and I know that Paige, you've got like a really cool outfit, but what do you guys have? What did you bring to share with the audience? And who wants to go first? Do you want to go first, Paige?
Well, I mean, it's really cool that Eliza has a weapon. I mean,
right? I know. Come on.
No, but so my hands and feet are my weapons. But
I was gonna say, girl, you got these. Like, right?
Exactly. No, but usually in Taekwondo, it's a fight, competitive sport. We have protective gear, forearms, shin guards, and headgears, and we have a hogu. So we put this around our body, and it's an electronic scoring system. So we also have a sock that we wear on our hands and feet, and it's kind of like connecting the dots. You have to kick hard enough and with accuracy in order to score. So it gets very creative and competitive in order to win in my sport.
So wait, can you wash the socks?
No.
My sock would be stinky, okay, my sock would be stinky. I'm just gonna put it out there, girl.
No,
okay.
But I promise. I usually they usually last maybe 5 competitions if you're lucky.
Okay, and then they're like no good, like the whatever the fibers don't connect anymore,
the magnet either comes out or it's worn, or we'll have
so
a
do you
new
guys
electronic scoring system. You never know.
Yeah, so do you guys travel with more than kind of one set with you in case one set doesn't work? Do you guys have more?
Yes.
Okay.
So usually there's 2 electronic systems, so we'll have 2 different socks. But usually we'll just carry the socks, and then our forearm gear, our dough box, our belts we'll bring along. But the electronic scoring system, the hogu, and the headgear, usually the tournament provides those.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just love learning all these things. I mean, I think my equipment's so boring. Like, I got skis and a helmet and goggles.
Oh, yeah.
You guys got stuff and swords. Okay,
Yeah.
Eliza.
I know.
Share with us. Thanks,
You can't
Paige.
put that on the airplane, you can't put it in your carry-on. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because you guys have been talking about the sword.
I know.
It's technically called a saber. If you call it a sword,
Yes.
you're a newbie.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm a rookie over here.
No.
Sorry, yeah. Correct term.
So the way you hold it is thumb up, and then you can control it. And the tip of the blade is where all the action happens. You have to be really good at controlling it at high speed. But what I really wanted to show is the electric jacket. So you're going to wear this.
Oh, okay.
Your name has to be on the back, your last name and your country. But yeah, it's long sleeve down to the waistline, paired with the glove for your sword hand, your weapon hand. The electric part is the part that you can touch to score. So in my weapon, saber, it's a right-of-way weapon, so you have to be controlling the action. Kind of, you have to be the attacker, or you have to just have blocked an attack and won the action. You have to somehow be in control, and you have to do that, and you have to hit on target. So the metal part is the target. So if you hit my legs,
Oh, okay.
even if you did the perfect thing with your action and you were in control, if you end up hitting my pants, no point, too bad. So
That's
you have to be
crazy.
pretty in control.
So basically, it's your whole upper body that's the scoring.
Your
Wow.
upper body, your head, and your wrist down in your hand.
Okay.
But
I find it so interesting that both you girls are electronically scored.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's really, really cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Okay, so we just had a question pop up. So this is a question that what is the point system like with Taekwondo? So how does that work?
So the points. So the point system is that every fight there's 3 rounds. Each round is 2 minutes, and basically it's a scoring system to who scores the most amount of points. And in between each rounds, it doesn't erase. Like there's different types of competitions where it will reset per round. But in the Olympic format, whoever accumulates the most points at the end of the 3rd round wins that match.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and Eliza, for you, tell us about your scoring as well.
So it depends what round you're in. So typically at the beginning of a competition, you have a pool system where it's 5 touch bouts, kind of sudden death. They go by within, total action time is probably 1 minute or less for each of those. So it's very high intensity, short time. But then once you kind of go through that first round and you're ranked according to how you did, it's direct elimination, tableau, 15 touches. And interestingly, the psychology for doing a 5 touch bout and a 15 touch bout are completely different. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just who gets to the end, who gets to the 5 or 15 point first wins.
Mm-hmm. And do you guys have sudden deaths as well, or?
So the direct elimination, whoever wins, whoever loses is out of the competition. And if it's 14-14, it's not like tennis where you have to win by 2. No, you can just win 1.
Oh no, I don't like that. I like to win by 2. I love tennis. So I like watching them win by 2. Okay. So because I have you both captive on this Zoom call right now, we're going to dive in, girls, because I'm so fascinated by your mental toughness and really what it has taken, Paige, to make 3 Olympics in a sport that is just like one-on-one. And Eliza, for you, your first Olympics, I'm so excited for you, girl. But I just, so we got to get in. Our topic is mental toughness, like I said before. And just, the importance of that and how you've been able to harness it and use it to your advantage. So I'm going to dive in with some questions here. So when did you both realize, was there, I call it the Oprah aha moment, but was there a moment where you guys realized that beyond the physical training, right, we can all be the best at what we can be physically, but was there a moment that you remember wow, this, I've got to be good up here because that is going to help me translate onto the mat and against my opponent? Eliza, do you want to go first, or Paige, or was there a moment that when you guys realized that?
I mean, for fencing, you have to some extent, be learning that whether you're conscious of it or not, because the one who's going to win the bout is the one who's more focused and is more reading the game. So it's everyone can lunge, everyone can hit, everyone can take a parry, but the one who's going to win is the one who can set up the actions and set up the traps. So you're going to be, setting things up like a chess game, 3, 5, 6 touches ahead of time. You have to be working really quickly mentally while you're working hard physically. So the one who's focused and tough is going to be the one who wins 99 times out of 100. So you're
Wow.
learning that really from the time you start when you're 10 years old. But obviously
You're
it's
already kind of putting the chess pieces together and having to figure that out along with your, oh, that's really cool.
You'll notice that, if you attack one time, then the opponent's going to be more hesitant the next time. So then you start a different kind of action the next time because you're reading your opponent. If you react, then you're already dead. You have to be setting up traps. So
that's awesome. And what about you, Paige?
I completely agree. I mean, sports is ruthless. There's a winner and then there's a loser. So if you don't want to be a loser, you're already trying to learn those quick traits in order to find a way to win. But I mean, just for the question, the one time I realized that I really needed to work on my mental game was actually in Rio of the last Olympics. And again, I've had the resilience and just overall toughness, I think, physically in order to get the job done, right? In my previous successes. But at the games where I kid you not, I swear I did everything in my control to get the gold in Rio. I trained three times a day, every day. I prepped. I was talking to a psychologist. I was trying to eat right. I was, just focusing on everything that I could do, watching videos, etc. And the very first match at the Olympic Games, I had this girl in front of me planned out. I knew everything that she was going to do, and I lost my very first fight. And it was devastating because, again, 4 years leading up to that moment and losing your opening fight, I had no words because I physically gave it everything I got in order to be successful at that Olympics. And even mentally, I thought I was going to win, and then something didn't happen. And so it really made me reflect on what exactly was I training. And I was training all about physicality rather than mentally. And that's when I was introduced to a mind coach from Mexico. And I have been working with him, over a few years. And just simply having a different perspective in that moment has changed my career entirely. These last 4 years have been the best years in my sports life, my sports journey. And it was literally just, a little bit of a perspective, and even just that moment of failing, which got me to my third Olympics.
Wow. That's a similar, how I almost didn't make my 2002 Olympic team.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same thing. I was skiing better than ever. And we had 7 World Cups to be able to make it. And I was 4 in and hadn't even cracked into the top 30. And we need to be on the podium. We need to be in the top 3. Mm-hmm. And it was that moment of just like completely being devastated, to figure out that there was another way, that I had to find something that was other than physical training. So that's really interesting that yours was on the, failure as well. Like, okay, you got to dig deeper. You got to find another way. Mm-hmm. So what do you work with, Eliza, do you work with a mental coach? Like, aside from, I think, the strategy that's in your sport, do you work with a mental coach outside of your training? And if you do, what do you work on? What are some of the things that you guys talk about?
Yeah, I work with a sports psychologist. I started that after maybe 2 years of doing international fencing. My willpower got me so far. And then I realized that, it wasn't enough and I needed to really work on things. And something similar, actually, to what you said, Paige, in bouts, it really happens all the time for fencing, where you've studied your opponent, you've done all the work, you've done all the thinking, you've got it planned out to a T, and then you get on the strip and nothing works. Nothing. And what I learned is that you have to do something like find the middle ground. you do a little bit of studying, maybe look for 5 minutes the night before at some video for your opponent, and then put your computer away, be done with it. Don't think about anything sports related. And then get into your bout and just fence. Don't overthink anything. So that was a really important lesson to learn. But yeah, as far as specific things with my mental coach, sports psychologist, we worked on ways to stay calm, right before a bout. Like my first time at World Championships, I got up onto the strip for the team match. The individual wasn't as hard, but with the team, they had a 50-foot TV screen with my face on it, in my direction.
Was that your dream, Eliza?
I love those.
Your face on the screen.
Right.
I mean, come on, girl.
The scores right next to it being
In
like,
your
oh,
face. Yeah.
Stone isn't doing so hot, and then there's at least 1,000 people in the venue looking at me because the lights are on the strip. And then, I remember just blanking and trying to keep it together. And, that's something we worked on. We did breathing technique. We did just ways to tell yourself things, I'm good at this, I'm good at that. I'm confident in this situation. I'm just going to go do what I'm good at. Nothing to worry about.
That's awesome. Okay, I have a quick question for you guys. It just came in from Lydia out there. So this is a great one. Do you ever get tired or run out of the resilience you need? And I think right now, right, you guys were like almost primed for everything, and we've only got time for one of you to answer it because we've got to get to go into some other questions.
Okay.
But do you ever just run out of juice? And if so, what do you do? How do you keep going?
I think that's a really good question, just because, like all of us, there comes a time in our career, especially when we're chasing that dream, where we hit a brick wall. Maybe before somehow our performance was just on fire, and then now nothing works, and you're trying to get up, you fall, you get up, you fall, you're exhausted. But I think one of the things that makes a successful athlete is the tribe around them. I cannot thank enough the people, and it's this very small circle of people who have been around me and who have reached out their hand to help me stand up. And those people, I think it's very important to surround yourself with people like that, that even if you're failing, they're there for you. Even if you're winning, you're there for you. So again, to answer that, it's really important to have people around you that are willing to take out their hand and help you.
Oh, that is just so true, because when the wheels start coming off the wagon, those people are always there to just, to help carry the burden sometimes. Mm-hmm. So you can give yourself a mental break and, kind of just
listen too. Just listen, let us rant, let us throw our tantrums, and then we'll pick ourselves up and get ourselves together. So
I love that. Okay. Do you ladies have a book or an app or something that you use, or something, a book that you've read that has really kind of helped in this area that maybe some of the viewers at home can download or listen to or buy?
So for me, before I go to a competition, even just in my lifestyle in general, a lot of my strength comes from my faith. Especially when those moments I cannot control. I have no clue, exactly like this moment right now, this pandemic, not knowing about the future. And for me, I'm a control freak. I like to plan things. I like to get ready for what happens in the future. And so this book, it's called Jesus is Calling. It's a devotional. It's a year's worth devotional. And it just kind of gives you, a reminder that God is there. He's there for you. He has everything planned. Trust in him, have faith in yourself, have faith in him, and he will direct your path. So for me, I swear, I kid you not, I look at that verse for that day. It's exactly what I need for that day. And so it's just kind of like my little angel on my shoulder.
I love that. I love that. We all need that special reminder. Do you have anything, Eliza?
So this was difficult exactly for me to answer. So I used to read more books and I used to find more inspirational quotes and such. But then I realized, when I'm in the middle of Senegal for a competition and I don't have my book with me, God forbid I lost it. I don't want to be, feeling like I'm at a disadvantage or mentally my mojo isn't there because my book isn't there. So I slowly separated myself from needing anything in particular. Like no good luck charms, no anything.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing. 402, I threw it all out the window.
Yeah. So actually what I do more to just mentally train in small ways is like in fencing, especially saber, it's very subjective. So like, even if you think you got the point, it's up to the referee. And if he makes a call that you don't agree with and you get angry and you yell at him or you get messed up in your head, you're going to lose. So you have to learn to stay cool. So if in your everyday, I don't know, the dishwashing machine is broken, just don't get angry about it. Take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great.
Whole thing. Don't swear about it. Just take a breath and it's okay and you can manage it. And you've done this a million times. And every time you kind of get down about something and redirect your thoughts to something better or more positive, I think you rewire your brain. So when it comes down to it, under pressure in a competition, if you have already done it 1,000 times where you've said, it's okay, I'm going to stay positive in the small ways or in practice, it'll be second nature when it matters in competition. So
I love that. There's a quote that they say, don't practice until you can't, or don't practice till you can't, oh boy, that's really bad. Don't practice till you can't get it right. Practice till you can't get it wrong. Or something like that, right? Where you're like, not just till you do it, but like till you can't get it wrong. Maybe I need to practice that quote. I think I need to do that. Okay, so we're like, time is flying. Okay, we got to be quick on this answer because I just want to know, because you ladies like step onto the mat and like game on, and it's just awesome. So it's called In the Zone. So go through super quick, like right before you get onto that mat, like what is going through your head? What are you telling yourself? Paige, go.
Okay, so one of the things that I always do on competition day, I usually have a routine. I'll braid my hair, I'll put eyeliner on for my war makeup, just get me in that zone. And right before I go into the match, nerves are flying. You feel all the pressure. The lights are on. My mind is wandering, and I try to stop. And then I say, "Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy, Fuzzy Wuzzy," and just like a tongue twister, a tongue twister of any sort forces you to say it, because you're not going to be able to say it unless you're in the moment. So therefore, when you say it, all of a sudden those what ifs, those nerves, those stresses, whatever people are saying about you, it vanishes because you had to focus on this small tongue twister saying. And then as soon as I get in the zone, I say 3 things that I love about myself, or I've trained hard. I have the right. I've eaten hard. I've eaten well. I've done the recovery. I have my tribe. Let's go. Yep. And then I go out there and have some fun.
I love it. Okay, Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. All right, Eliza, what's yours? Go.
The routine kind of starts the night before, where I do 5 minutes of video review, take a shower, lay out everything, have breakfast at a certain time before I have to be at the venue, arrive at a certain time before, start warming up a certain time before, same thing every time. But right before I get on strip for my bout, I will be listening to my pump up music, not actually doing anything verbal the way you do, but jumping in place, making sure I'm limber, making sure I'm really focused and intense. And then right at the end, I wallop myself over the face because that somehow gets the adrenaline going. couple referees be like, what is happening
Yeah.
up there? We're not going to look. And then, you know, the adrenaline is going and I'm ready to go. And I tell myself a couple basic things that I always need to do, like this type of footwork, remember to keep moving, something simple. And then you just clear your head, focus on your opponent, blinders on. Doesn't matter who's watching you, who wants you to win, who wants you to freaking focus on your opponent, and that's it. And then you just focus as hard as you can until it's over. Don't let up at all. Because in our 15 touch bouts, you get tired right around the 10-point bout. So you
okay, so ladies, what I'm hearing from you right now is that, okay, you need to hit yourself in the face and then yell fuzzy wuzzy was a bear, and you guys are golden, okay?
Exactly.
Like, run out.
That is the winning
I
formula.
told you this was going to go fast, right? This has been so much fun. So thank you. Oh, I can't even get that out of my head now. Bam, fuzzy wuzzy was a bear. Okay, that's what we're going to have to do from now on. So I just want to thank you so much for joining us. This has been really, really great. And I love talking about mental toughness, and you gave us all some really cool things to think about, and how to kind of approach our next scary things that we're fearful of. So thank you for being here. And to all of you guys at home, on behalf of all of the athletes from Rally with Champions, Paige and Eliza and myself, thank you for joining us for our 4th of 10 live virtual workshop. If you loved it, please, please, please go back to our homepage and donate, because it goes to these awesome ladies right here. So our next workshop is going to be April 23rd at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our topic is going to be a day in the life, what an average training and competition day looks like. And we're also going to have 2 more incredible Olympians, Madeline Cox, who is a swimmer, and then hopefully your teammate in these next Olympics, Kamali Thompson. And she is not only a fencer, but she is going to be a doctor soon too. So that's really, really cool. So join us. We're going to chat about their daily life. And if you've had a ton of fun, tell your friends, come back, donate. We'll see you then. And thank you again from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. I hope your Olympic flame is burning a little bit brighter, and we'll see you next time on Rally with Champions. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.